screaming, cold sweat, scary-ish, and I could nap through this. So there's a bit of variety here. There's a little bit of variety. Let's get into what I think. So SCP-3008, I think is scary from the perspective of if you get stuck in the infinite IKEA, it's horrendous. Like the chances of you getting out are extremely, extremely low. And the fact that the SCPs within it are like kind of hostile, like I think they call it SCP-30082 is like the entities on the inside. I think they're actually pretty horrendous. And the fact that people are having to like survive in this place for eternity and deal with them attacking them every night, I actually think that's quite scary. I think that's quite scary. For me anyway, that's my perspective. I don't know if I would put this in the very top category. Even Death doesn't want this one. But I think it definitely sits somewhere around like the top to middle for me. I think it sits top to middle. I've just seen you being generally helpful in the wider community, so wanted to confirm I was remembering. Wait, what did you say? I think I've missed it. Oh, there's too much stuff. There's too much stuff. Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I have to look across to my laptop to read what you guys are saying because my screen is so small. My screen is so small. Remember, even if you do get out of IKEA, there's no guarantee you'll be back in your home dimension. That's also true. So, like, the tricky thing with this SCP is that they realize that all the people in there are coming from, like, different dimensions at some point, which is a really good ref that's being made here. I think... Oh, hey, Tux, how's it going? Welcome on in. I hope you're doing good, buddy. I hope you're doing good. I think the scary thing about this is the... Yeah, it's kind of like a no-go. Like, by the point you're in it, it's kind of over. I think this one is probably a screaming for me. We're setting the bar with our first one here. I think this is a screaming. This is quite scary, and it's very, like, the chances of you coming across it aren't super high, but if you are in it, like, you're not going to be having a good time. You're not going to be having a good time at all, right? I don't think that one is super chill. Also, I just realized some of the SCPs on here, we're going to have to Google what the SCP is. Because some of these I reacted to so long ago, guys. Some of these I reacted to so freaking long ago. And I think that's the case for the next one. So the next one that we have is SCP-1550.
The ferry.
Hello, welcome on in. It's a pleasure to have you. Okay, I think this one is Dr. Wondertainment's custom pets. Now, I don't know how well of a known SCP this one is. As you can see from the image, it's pretty horrific. It's pretty horrific. But I think this one is interesting. So for this one, essentially, Dr. Wondertainment has these little, like, eggs, right? And the children can pick up these eggs. They appear on a shelf at, like, a pet store, right? Kids can pick them up. They bring them home. They have to set up this egg. But it essentially adapts to the environment that it is in. And sometimes you end up with a really cute pet, like a really adorable one. Sometimes you end up with a horrific pet that will, like, burn your house down, or it might be like a disgusting spider creature. So it's a little bit like, oh, give or take on it. I think it's kind of risky, honestly, this one. Which is why I think there's a bit of fear there, but I don't think it's on the same level as Infinite IKEA for me. I don't think it's that extreme. That's just a doggy with a bug skin. No. This is worse than that. I think this one might be a cold sweat, and I think it's a cold sweat because you really don't know what you're going to end up with. And you might think you might be able to control the environment it's in, but you might not. And it might bite. It could bite, guys, so we need to be careful. They're typically not dangerous, only evolve due to the environment. Yeah, exactly. But there have been some occasions where it's burnt people's houses down. I actually think this one might be scary-ish for me, because I think it is a bit 50-50. It really does depend what space you're in. I think we're going to find some that fit cold sweat a bit better. So I'm going to put it in scary-ish. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. I think we've got some that scale up a lot higher on it, okay? I think we got something to scale up a bit higher, so I'm holding out for those. The ones that do cause trouble is because because it assesses the house is the danger to the kid, like a bad household. Yeah, exactly. Fair assessment. Yeah, I think it's scary-ish. It depends what you end up with. It's a gamble. Okay, this next one is SCP-4666. I'm pretty sure that's the Yule Man, right? SCP-4666 was the Yule Man. and I friggin' hate this SCP. Yeah, this is the Yule Man. Okay, so this SCP is disgusting. It's basically a really creepy take on like kind of a Christmassy tale. It's essentially an SCP that comes into your house. It incapacitates a bunch of like the family members in the house while they're sleeping, and then it herds them into a single room. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it murders everyone in the room and then snatches the kid. Am I right in thinking that, guys? I'm pretty sure that's what this one does. It's like a kidnap, hostage murder situation. From what I understand, send him to the depths of Tartarus. This one is horrific. And I also find the thing really creepy about this one is it like spies on you from outside the house for a little bit. And I hate that. I hate that. That one's really nasty. That's what the Yule Man does. Yeah, he creepy dude. Sounds like my uncle. What do you mean sounds like your uncle? Oh my God, call the police. Call the police. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it tortures people. I'm pretty sure it like brutally murders them in front of the kid and then like kidnaps or like does something nasty to, not like, you know, like that, but like maybe murders the kid. I can't remember. But it is nasty. It is nasty. You're lucky if he just leaves a toy. Oh yeah, there's a gamble that he can leave the toy as well, right? Ooh, horrendous. I think this one is just like absolutely horrific, to be honest. The fact that it's like murdering and torturing everyone is pretty bad. Do I think this is screaming, or do I think this is like even death doesn't want this one? It might be even death doesn't want this one, man. Like this one's horrible. This one is really bad. I think this does go in the top tier. I'm top tiering this one. This one is very, very scary. Okay. Next up is SCP-031, which is What is Love? For those who don't remember what is love is, I feel like this isn't a super well-known SCP. It's basically an SCP of this like glob of meat. It's like a giant slug glob of meat looking thing. And it like goes around and it kind of makes you think that it is, how do I even describe this? It makes you think that it's like a past lover. And it like makes you let it into your house where it will like live. But the problem is that it only looks like the past lover to like one person, right? So say we got Sally, she lives in house number 2, right? But across the road in house number 3, we've got Kevin. And to Sally, it looks like her ex-boyfriend Brad. But to Kevin, it looks like Glenda, his ex-wife, right? So he will then see Sally with Glenda, like making out and doing stuff. And then he'll be like, oi, what the hell are you up to? Like, why are you getting with Glenda? So I don't think it's necessarily like scary, but I do think it's quite creepy because the fact is like adjusting your psyche into making you think that it's like an ex or like a lost love or like something like that. But really, you're just like making out with a glob of meat is like pretty disgusting. You know, things get weird when we have to say a chunk of soggy meat got sus. Yeah, this one is more weird than it is scary, but I do think there is like creepiness to this. It doesn't necessarily hurt you, right? Is he the favorite family uncle? Oh my gosh. That was the SCP I wanted to run over with a car. Yeah. Yeah, this one's nasty. Yeah, I think scary-ish. I think this is scary-ish. I don't think, like, it's scary from the perspective of, like, it's just living in your house, like, almost like a parasite, right? I don't think it's scary in the format of, like, you know, it's gonna physically hurt you. The other people might hurt you because they think you're getting with their ex, but you know how it is. All right, next up. SCP-914, The Clockworks. Now, this one, I think, is a really interesting one. Most people are familiar with the Clockworks. The way the Clockworks works is it's a big machine. You put something in one side, you turn the dial to, like, fine, super fine. Like, it's got a bunch of settings, right? I think it's got 5 settings. And it goes all the way, essentially on paper, from, like, deconstructing something to making something better out of the 5 settings, right? And it's very curious because it really depends what you put in this thing as to what it will produce. I think in some hands, this is like a brilliant SCP and it's like a helpful SCP. I think in other hands, this is pretty horrific and it could hurt a lot of people, right? I don't, again, necessarily think this is scary. I do think it can like cause things that are scary, right? I could hug it. I could hug it. Yeah, I don't know. For me, again, I think this one might be a scary-ish because I think it really depends what hands it is in. It really depends who's got hold of it. So I'm going to chuck this into scary-ish. Scary-ish. Okay, next up, SCP-2484. This is parasitic mayonnaise worms. This one, horrendous. Horrendous. Basically, if I remember correctly, it's worms that end up in like this mayonnaise jar. The mayonnaise jar will just appear. We don't know where the mayonnaise jar has come from. It just kind of appears and it's like delicious mayonnaise. It's like the best mayonnaise you've ever had. The only problem is that there's these worms inside of it that eat you from the inside out when you eat a sandwich with it on. Pretty horrific. Pretty horrific. And as someone who doesn't like the idea of like creatures crawling within you, I hate this one. However, I don't think this is one that death is afraid of or like doesn't want. I think this one is screaming. I hate it. I hate it. I would never want to interact with it. I don't think it's one that death would like reject. I think it's fair. I think it's fair. The worms are the mayo. Yeah, they're basically the mayo if you like zoom in. Disgusting. It is disgusting. I think it's a screaming. I think this one's a screaming. I think that's pretty valid. I think that's pretty valid. Okay, next one we have is SCP-106. This is the Old Man. So for those who don't remember the Old Man is a classic. This is an SCP that can like, it comes from like another dimension essentially, or it has a pocket dimension as it were. And it will appear into the world through like black, like sludges of goop. And it will grab you and it will pull you into its dimension. And then it will either leave you in there for barely any time at all or for a very long time. But it takes pleasure in like torturing you and letting you die, basically. So it's pretty horrific. I kind of hate this one. It's very vengeful and very hateful. And it's just like, I don't like things that are vengeful and hateful like that because they kind of scare me. Hey, Devo, how's it going? Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. I'd say screaming. I think the Yule Man is scarier than SCP-106. Like, SCP-106 is horrendous. I wouldn't want to end up stuck with this thing. It would be horrific. It would be awful. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I feel like SCP-4666 is worse. SCP-4666 is nasty. This is a cold sweat for you? No way. No way that's a cold sweat for you, bro. That's crazy. Depends on the canon. Yeah, there's a lot of like different takes on SCP-106 as well. So it's kind of like, it kind of depends. Hey, Moon, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Just dropped in. Is 939 on this list? I don't think so. I don't think I've seen 939 before. These are all SCPs that I've seen so far in like the past year of reacting to SCPs. So this is more of like a personal one. For first people, it's screaming. For veterans, it's cold sweat, you think? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think I'm going to put screaming. I'm still like relatively new to SCPs. We're a year in. Out of the ones I've seen, I still think the Yule Man is worse. Okay, next up, we have Peanut. So that is SCP-173. Now, Peanut's interesting. I don't think I'm necessarily super scared of Peanut, but I also think... I think I'm overconfident. I think I'm doing that I could land a plane in an emergency scenario logic here. Like, so let me explain for anyone that doesn't know. Again, SCP-173 is a classic. It's Peanut. It's the statue, the sculpture, as some people call it. This is the SCP where if you look away from it or you blink, it will essentially like snap your neck, right? And there's an element of fear to that, right? But I feel like I can handle it. I feel like I could handle it, you know? Just give me like a squad of like four other people. We'll go in and I think we'll be fine. Yeah, it's very Weeping Angel-esque. Thank you. That's a very good comparison. Weeping Angel is the best way of putting it. I think cold sweat. I think this is our first cold sweat. I'm not super scared of it. I am scared of it if it gets to like the scenario where there's more than one of them. If that's the case, Hell no. But I think just SCP-173 on its own, I'd say it's just a cold sweat. Can it break through doors? I don't think it can. I don't think it can. It can only go, like, it's following sight lines, basically. So if you, like, close a door, I don't think it can go through it, which is, like, part of the reason why it's, like, contained in the chamber, right? I think it's okay in there. I don't think it can break through doors. Yeah, I don't think it can. Depends on the kind of door. That's also true. If it's, like, a paper door, it could probably get through it. But if it's a regular door, I don't think it can. And for me, that means it's a cold sweat. Okay, next up, we have SCP-294. Now, this is the coffee machine. Now, I think this one is actually quite interesting because, again, this is a very similar situation to the Clockworks, right? Really depends who's operating the machine, and it depends what their motives are, right? I think SCP-294, for me personally, in a weird way, it's a bit scarier than the Clockworks because SCP-294, it's essentially a coffee machine that you go up to. You can type in something that you want. So it could be like, my mom's lemonade from when I was a kid, right? And it will give you that. The thing is, though, you could say, I want a cup of, because you say always a cup of something. You can go up to it and you could say, I want a cup of knowledge on how to be a brain surgeon, right? And the scary thing about this is that it can liquefy a brain surgeon's brain in the, like, kind of relative vicinity to give you that. And I think that is a bit scary because it could mess up, like, you or someone near you by doing that. Hey, Gurgabin, how you doing? Welcome on in, welcome on in. We're doing a scariest SCP tier list out of all the SCPs that I've seen so far over the last year of reacting to SCPs. Welcome on in. I'm upgrading my Game Boy to a Switch 2 with that thing now. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think, I don't know if I would, this might be a nap for me. Like, there's elements of it that are scary, but it's probably not going to mess up me, right? I am fine. I don't think it's necessarily going to mess me up. So I think I would maybe put this in, like, nap. I feel like Clockworks might have more of an impact if someone puts something through it, which is, like, actively harmful, right? Like, if they manage to make some sort of, like, killing machine out of the back of the Clockworks, that's probably going to be more of an issue than SCP-294 liquefying someone's brain, you know? What are the chances? And I'm not that smart anyway, so no one's probably liquefying my brain. So I think it's fine. Okay, next up, we have SCP-2136. Now, if I remember correctly, this is like the look virus, right? I'm trying to remember what the name for this SCP is that is not the number. I think it's called the look virus. It's basically like a pathogen that infects humans. It is transmitted by an uninfected human's visual perception of an infected host, right? So someone gets infected with it. If you are uninfected and you look at the person that's infected, you then become infected, right? And what this thing does is it essentially, like, it drives you a little bit crazy, really. Like, it drives you a little bit mad. It can scale very quickly, obviously, depending on, like, what scenario it's in. So I think this one's quite scary. If it's contained well, it's fine. If it's not, it's pretty horrific. It's pretty horrific. So I think it kind of depends on what the scenario is with it. You think cold sweat. It might be cold sweat. Maybe this is a cold sweat. It is kind of similar mechanics to 173, I would say. It's not that far off. It's a machine. I can't understand metaphors and nicknames. That's why a Cup of Joe did some damage. You think screaming? I think it might be more towards screaming for me. Because it's pretty horrendous. Like, you can't sleep, if I remember correctly, when it infects you. It's pretty nasty. I think it's screaming. I don't think this is a cool one. Okay, next up, SCP-2854. This is the Little Shop Mart of Horrors. Now, this SCP, I think, is more of, like, a shock from seeing it than it is from, like, interacting with it. So SCP-2854 is essentially, I don't know if I'd even call it, like, interdimensional. It's like if a supermarket was accessed by demons and angels, right? And on the biblical level as well is what we're talking about. I agree. I think this is more weird than it is scary. I think if you went into it, you would probably have a bit of a fright. But at the same time, the customers in the shop aren't necessarily hostile. So I think you'd kind of be all right. I'm going to put this one as like a scary-ish because I think you would be afraid if you went in and you saw like biblical angels and stuff there. I do think you'd be fine though. Like I generally think you'd be fine. 3 Portland's time market. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, next up we have SCP-1471 and this is Mallow. Mallow is what do I think about Mallow? And I think we're going to see quite a divide in the audience here of who enjoys Mallow. Who enjoys Mallow for certain reasons and who does not. So Mallow is basically a mobile app that appears on your phone. And once it's installed, it can't be deleted. It sends you text messages and like photos of itself in like places that you have been. And I think if I'm right in thinking, you're in the images as well. So it sends you like an image of it creeping on you, basically, or in like a place that you've been on. It's very like stalker-esque. I don't like the stalking element of it. I think that is quite scary. The stalking element is quite scary. I think getting all those messages would be quite freaky. Yeah, it'd be a lot of jump scare. I think it would actually creep you out more than you think it would. I don't think this is a screaming for me, though. I don't think this is a screaming. I think this is maybe a cold sweat. I think this is a cold sweat. It's not screaming. It's not horrendous, but it is very creepy and very uncomfortable. Can't get used to it after a few months. I think you can. I think you think you can. I think it would start getting creepy and annoying. I think it would start getting very annoying. I don't think I would like it. I think this is a cold sweat for me. This is a cold sweat. I wouldn't like that. Okay, next up is SCP-6979. Now, if I believe this correctly, this is Am I Pretty, right? 6979. Yes, this is Am I Pretty. So this SCP is like a humanoid entity. She covers a mask, like has a mask on her face. She will come up to you and she will say, "Am I pretty?" And depending on what you respond with, she will like unmask herself and like mess you up. She's got like a really creepy like jaw situation going on. And she is nasty. She is nasty. She mainly attacks men, if I remember correctly. The split mouth woman, yeah. So I think I would basically be fine with this. So for me, it's a bit scary, but I think I would be all right. I think this is just a scary-ish for me. I don't think this would impact me. For anyone who is a dude, I think you'd be struggling. I think you would be struggling. I'm kind of chilling. I'm kind of chilling on this one because she ain't gonna come for me, so I'm fine. As a man screaming, yeah, I think that's what I mean. This is a very personal take on this one, but I'm okay. So you guys gotta deal with it. What happens if you say yes? I think if you say yes, that's when she like takes the mask off and then like it's really weird. She doesn't even eat you. Like weird tendril things come out of her mouth and mess you up. It's disgusting. I get a cold sweat, but if I say the right thing, I might be all right. Yeah, I think she leaves you alone if you say like if you like ignore her or like you're not weird with it. I think she's fine. Female SCPs that target males are just awful all the time. Oh my gosh. Okay, next up, SCP-1762. I think that one is called Where the Dragons Went? Is that the name of it? Where the Dragons Went. It's the one with the box with the paper dragons in it. And their like universe is getting messed up. Where the Dragons Went. Yes, that is it. That is it. This one, I could nap through this. This one is very sad. It's a very sad SCP. I don't necessarily think it's a scary SCP. And I think that's a very, very comfortable, I could nap through this. I think it's like scary that their world is falling apart, but I think it's more sad than it is scary. I could sleep, but I probably cry. Yeah, I cry myself to sleep through this one. Okay. SCP-2006. Now, this is a very interesting SCP. And I think it's interesting because on the top layer, it's not that scary, but on a deep layer, it's horrendous. So this SCP is called Too Spooky. This is actually a Keter class SCP, but basically it wants to cause fear in humans. It wants to scare people, right? However, it doesn't really understand what actually frightens people. And it's like knowledge of what frightens people comes from like a really like old like 70s 80s look on horror, right? So like it's a bit scary, but it's not like horrific. And the real trick with this one is that it can shapeshift, right? So it can shapeshift into things that are horrific. It can change its voice into things that, you know, you find creepy, things like that, right? I think what's interesting about this SCP is on the surface, it is not that scary. But if it learns what actually scares people and it actually gets hold of that information and understands it, then we've got a problem. And then it's horrific. And then it's just like a shape-shifting entity that will genuinely like scare people en masse, right? Could potentially become very bad. Exactly. I think this SCP for me sits somewhere in the middle to the top. Like, I think like top mid for me. Because again, surface level, not that bad. Deeper look, horrendous. I mean, that's the realm of, what? Diegepocalypal, I can't read. Oh my gosh. The Greek god of fear, to be more exact, is very interesting. I think this one for me is Cold Sweat. And I think it's Cold Sweat because of its current state, but I am scared. Oh, speculation, bro. I can barely read shit. It is the realm of speculation, but they do detail that, like, this is the part of the reason why this SCP is so dangerous is because of the risk of it fully understanding this stuff, right? Like, that's detailed in the file. I think it's Cold Sweat because I think they're doing a relatively good job of containing it. I think it would take it a while to properly understand what really is scary. I do think it could be horrific, so that's fair. Okay. Next up, we have SCP-2845, and this is the Deer God. Now, I hate this one, but I hate it more because of its containment procedure than I actually hate the SCP itself. So this is basically like a sort of like alien-style like deer entity. It's kind of big. If I remember correctly, it's like almost like double the size of a human, basically. But it has a lot of like powers. It's a bit like cosmic horror-y. It's able to like mess around with like matter and things like that. They're containing it by making it think it's like in some ritual, right? You think screaming for this one? I don't think this one is that scary. Because I think if it's stupid enough to get tricked into thinking that a ritual is containing it, it's not that intelligent, right? So I feel like the risk of it getting out, like, actually isn't that bad. Like, sure, it can absolutely destroy stuff, but, like, I don't think the risk of it getting out is that bad. I could nap through it, just, be a grade 9 gaslighter. Oh my gosh. They do the ritual like every day, right? Yeah, I think it's daily they have to do this like ritual. But also like the ritual's not my problem, you know? The ritual's messed up. The ritual is messed up. But is this gonna actually like impact me? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Hey, Morgul, how's it going? So good to see you, buddy. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I'm doing good, man. We're doing an SCP. Oh gosh, sorry guys. We're doing an SCP tier list of all the SCPs that I've seen so far. This is the scariest SCPs that I've seen so far. It's just existential dread. Yeah, a bit, right? Just a bit of existential dread. Don't worry about it. It needs a specific ritual to contain it, yeah. I think this is like... Gosh, is this Cold Sweat or Scary-ish for me, man? Maybe it's Cold Sweat. Like, maybe it's Cold Sweat. I don't think it's Screaming for me. It's pretty dumb. Like, it's a pretty dumb SCP, like, in terms of, like, intelligence, right? It's being tricked pretty bad. Yeah, I think this is a Cold Sweat. This is a Cold Sweat. Okay, SCP-4999. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite SCPs. I love this SCP. This SCP is Someone to Watch Over Us is the name of this one. This is essentially an entity that shows up kind of if you're alone and if you're dying, and it kind of just looks after you. I don't think this one is scary at all. Maybe I am weird. I think it's heartwarming. I could nap through this one. I love it. I think this is a very heartwarming, sweet SCP. I like it. Nap and probably die crying, yeah. We have a lot of die crying with these ones. Okay, so SCP-049. Now, this is the Doctor. How do I feel about this one? I think, 049 is a classic if you haven't heard of SCP-049. SCP-049 is an entity, I guess, that wears a Plague Doctor mask. It is going after something called the Petulance. The Petulance, I think that's what it's called. And it believes that all humans have the Petulance in them. And he's trying to cure them, but also guy's a bit delusional and is just kind of murdering people. I think he's quite creepy, to be honest. He's not super scary, though. I wouldn't put him in screaming. I think he sits more around cold sweat for me. The pestilence, not petulance. I think petulance is farting. The pestilence, thank you. But no, that didn't happen, okay? That didn't happen. I said it right the first time, okay? He's kind of cute. Yeah, I think it's cold sweat. This one's cold sweat for me. There is elements of him that is scary, but like the chances of you interacting with him, not super high, you know. Chances of him coming after you, again, not super high. I think it's all right. Okay, next up, we have SCP-3001, and this one is Red Reality. This one, I think, gives me such an, like, heavy sense of dread, more than probably most other SCPs that we've watched. So it is a pocket dimension. It is pitch black. And essentially, you go into it and you kind of like unravel very slowly over time. Like you slowly decay is like the best way of putting it. You're alive and you're conscious while it's like happening, but it's basically like complete sensory deprivation. I don't like this one because I think it is like I think you're right, like Smiles. I think this is quite like a personal hell situation, right? It's interesting because I don't think it's like, I think I would be screaming in this. Like the more I'm thinking about it, I think I would be screaming if I was in this SCP because you would just lose your mind. Like you just lose your mind so quickly, right? I think it'd be pretty horrendous. It sounds like biblically accurate hell. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think this actually is screaming. The more I think about it, this is actually horrific. It's not a fun SCP. I hate it. I love this SCP for the sake of it. I also hate it because I think it's very sad and very scary. I see myself. Yeah, you're in cold sweat, buddy. You're in cold sweat. It's cool because it explains Humes. Yeah, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool about it, actually. Okay, next up, guys, we have SCP-058. Is this called Heart of Darkness? I think this is called Heart of Darkness. SCP-058. Yeah, Heart of Darkness. This one sucks. Can I just say, this SCP sucks. It's like a tiny, I don't even know if I could call it tiny. It's like a heart, if a heart was merged with a scorpion and like vines covered in thorns that like whip around is basically this one. It has a horrific voice. It is very scary. It's very aggressive. And it's very fast and very resilient. And it's just awful. It's like very spider-like. I hate it. It can run at like 90 kilometers an hour. It's disgusting. This thing sucks. It sucks, bro. I think if this thing was coming after me, I would definitely be screaming. I'd probably be dead. I'm going to be real, but I would also be screaming. Very, very creepy. Is this death doesn't... No, I think it's not creepy enough. I don't think it's creepy enough to go in even death doesn't want this one, but I would definitely be screaming if this thing came after me. I would definitely be screaming, bro. So I'm going to chuck this one into the screaming column, I think. I think that's valid. I think that's a valid placement. Very valid placement. I think it's close. I think it is close to SCP-4666, but I also think the thing with SCP-058 is it would be over pretty quick. You know? It would be over pretty quick if it came for you. With the Yule Man, you're dealing with it for a while, right? Not super cool. Not super cool, pretty painful, not a fun time. Right, SCP-2521. Is this one scary? I don't know, actually. Is this scary? It doesn't really have a name, because its name is in, like, Morse code or something, but it's basically an info hazard entity that manifests and steals information, physical or digital, that directly references it using, like, text or speech, right? It can kidnap you, which is kind of scary. But I don't think this one's that horrific unless you stumble across, like, information on it, right? A very confused entity trying to find out who he is. Yeah, poor dude, poor dude. I said his number. Oh my god, it's over. It's over. Who did this? Who put the number out there? Oh my gosh. You cannot perceive or recognize direct info of it. It's convoluted as hell. I would nap. Yeah, I don't think it's, like, that horrific. I think there's probably... Maybe this is a nap, actually. Maybe it's a nap. I think it's a nap. The more I think about it, I think you're right. I think it's a nap. Too complex. I nap. It's over. It's over. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's just like, it's one of those where, like, you're probably not going to interact with this one super often, right? It's a cool SCP, but I don't think it's a super scary one. Okay, next up is SCP-2935. This is O Death. So this, how do I even describe this? This is like a... How do I describe this? It's basically a gateway to alternate realities where every form of life and technology has, like, died. And the, like, whole thing of this is that if you go there, you go to this alternate reality and you come back, it kind of, like, destroys all life in your original dimension. It's a very interesting SCP. Top rank. Yeah, this is pretty horrific. I do not like interacting with this one as the ferrywoman of the underworld because it's a lot of work for me. I think it's quite scary, and I think the scary thing about it is the fact that it like gets you as you're coming back, right? Even being there, which is, like, horrific enough as it is, I think coming back from it is the worst thing, because then that happens to your reality. And that's pretty grim. That's pretty grim. Because if someone goes through the cave, it's game over for everything. Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the scariest bits about it. Do I think it's even death doesn't want this one, though? Is it scream? I don't think it's screaming. I think it's worse than that. I think this is even death doesn't want this one. I think it's worse. Yeah, it has Predator vibes. It's very unsettling, this one. I don't like it. I think it's quite creepy. There's some kind of messed up connection to another SCP. Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember this from when we watched it. Okay, next up we have SCP-6448. And this one is not dear. Now, I actually think this one's disgusting. Wait, is this SCP-6448? Not dear? Yeah, it is. I hate this. It's, like, basically a disgusting creature that is shaped like a deer, but it can, like, steal human, like, tech and tools and all that. And it kind of tries to, like, pose as a human. The main thing I dislike about this SCP is the fact that it walks on two legs. I don't like things that do that. Things that look normal. I don't like things that do that. I don't like humans. No, I don't like things that, like, Yeah, it's a bit skinwalkery, right? I don't like that. I don't like anything Uncanny Valley. And this like sits in a weird character for me, like category for me of like, deer shouldn't be walking around on two legs, bro. I don't like that. Deer walker makes me nervous seeing a deer now. Yeah, I don't like this one. I think this one is screaming. I really don't like it. I think it's extremely creepy and nasty. Screaming, this thing makes me fear all day. Yeah. I would not like to be around this one. Screw that. Get it away from me. Get it away. Okay, next up we have SCP-073. Now this is Kane. This is Kane. Is Kane necessarily scary? I don't really think so. I don't think Kane is necessarily a scary SCP. I think... Oh, let me try and remember what he does. So if I remember correctly, can't he like mess up anything like created naturally, if I'm remembering that? So he will like mess up like soil. He's got like a scorched earth style ability that will like destroy the land that he like walks on, right? And it makes it barren. However, this guy isn't necessarily angry. He's very polite. He's very cooperative. I think he's kind of fine. I honestly think he's maybe like a nap through this. He seems pretty chill. I think it could be pretty decent, to be honest. Son of Adam. Kane is a nap, though. He's chill, dude. He causes all vegetation to die around him. Yeah, I think it's a nap. I would be more scared if he was more hostile, but he is not. He's just chilling. He's basically just chilling. So that doesn't really scare me. I'm going to go I could nap through this for this one. I don't think that's too bad. Okay, next up on our scariest SCP tier list is SCP-2317. Now, this one generally... this one is scary, but I have thoughts on this one, okay? So SCP-2317 is the Devourer of Worlds, which sounds crazy that I've just said that and then explained this. But basically, it's a door. It's a door that goes through to like this weird salt plane dimension that has this like horrific being within it, which like is attached by chains like really deep under the ground. And they're scared that he's going to get out and destroy the world, basically. There's like a lot of stories about how he's been trapped, like older civilizations than us have like bound him in these like mystical chains. The scary thing about this one is this, he's got 7 chains total, and 6 of the chains have broken. So there's only like 1 chain left, basically. Am I scared of this dude? Am I scared of him? I don't know. I don't know. I think he's kind of scary in terms of scale. Like, he's pretty big. This guy's like huge, right? It's like 200 feet tall or something. He's massive. But I don't know if I'm super scared of him. I feel like if it's over, right? Loki used to rap under the name of 2 Chains. In another life. I love it. I love it. Screaming, but there are worse things in the SCP universe. I think that's the thing, right? That like, I have a very interesting view on like life and death. And I think if it's over, it's over. And it's not that scary. And like, it's kind of just is what it is. And a lot of the times in the SCP universe where there's like SCPs that destroy everything, right? Some of them I find scary and some of them I don't find super scary. I think the thought of SCP-2935 to me is something that's genuinely horrific and very risky. I think this dude is just like, he's just going to get out and just chomp us up. Like, do you know what I mean? There's nothing barren and scary about what's left. I think that's the thing. This guy would just mean an eternity of paperwork, but yeah, it's just more work for me. He's kind of just a pain in the ass. He's just a little guy. I think it's more... I think this is like cold sweat for me. I don't think it's screaming because the threat's not there. It is like a looming presence, which is a bit unsettling. But yeah, there's things more... Yeah, exactly. Thank you. There's things far more frightening than death. I think it's a bit worrying that he could get out, but I'm not quaking in my boots, you know? I'm not quaking in my non-existent boots. Okay, next up we have SCP-1440. That is the old man from nowhere. How do we feel about this one? So this guy's whole deal is basically, he kind of does something similar to what Kane does, apart from he just destroys everything. It's not just like soil and like natural stuff, it's everything. So he just kind of walks around. He's got like a radius around him. If he interacts with people, he like accidentally kills them. It's not great. If he interacts with buildings, he absolutely accidentally destroys them. It's not great. He's not doing this by choice. It's kind of by coincidence. Weirdly, I think that's a little bit more scarier than if he was doing it by choice. It's also interesting because the SCP Foundation can't really contain him because he just keeps destroying everything. Although they do keep trying, and it's kind of messed up that they keep trying. Seems like a cold sweat. Yeah, I think that's the thing, because he's not actually an asshole. And like, he's actively trying to stay away from people and things that could be messed up. I think this is more, actually, you know what? I've convinced myself out of cold sweat. I think this is actually a scary-ish for me. I think it's a scary-ish. I don't think it's that bad because he's conscious of what's going on, right? Yeah, I think it's okay. He does talk about how some dude's going to come down eventually and mess everything up, but I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? Scary-ish. I think he's scary-ish. He's not that big of a threat to me. Just for him, poor fella. Yeah, it's kind of like a curse. Like, he's impacted by it more, you know? I kind of feel bad for that dude. Okay, next up, one of my favorite SCPs. This is SCP-3812, and we discovered this one pretty recently, actually. This SCP is known as, I think this is the one that's called, like, it's like a voice or something, a voice behind you. Am I right in thinking that? I can't remember the human name of this SCP. I can't remember it. But essentially, this is like a guy who died and rose from his grave. And he is like ascending through layers of reality and fiction. And it's very weird. Like, the SCP makes you feel very small. It poses the idea that just as we see like TV shows on the TV as not a form of like true reality and what's real, it poses the idea that maybe like our perception of its existence is that to somebody else. And I think that is pretty horrendous. I really don't like the implications on this one. There's a lot of like narrative. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of narrative layers going on, Manu. It's like the concept of countless realities existing above you. Yeah. And I think that I'm not very big as someone who's like, life has a meaning and a purpose. But I do think the idea that there's someone who's more like tuned into reality than you are, knowing that you are not the top layer of reality, is kind of horrific in like a weird way. It's kind of scary. It's like, you know, when you play The Sims, right? It's like realizing that you are in The Sims and someone is above you, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like that feeling is just such an uncomfortable feeling of dread. I do not like it. The idea of a disturbed mind that has the amount of power that is scary. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing with this SCP, right? Is that this guy's powerful as hell, right? Like, he alters reality around him and he doesn't even really realize he's doing it sometimes. So he's also quite dangerous and they can't really contain him either because of that, which is pretty horrific. We are not the main character of our own life. Yeah, exactly. I actually think for me, this might be in the top category. And I think it's because it's just such a like mentally humbling SCP experience of just being like, you are but a speck. You are but a speck on like the story and scale of existence. And I think that is, I don't like the feeling of like maybe knowing that I'm not in control of what happens to me, right? You gotta remember, he talks himself out of decimating the universe and winked out, bro's just vibing somewhere else. That is true, but I think it's the implication of the wider thought, because he's like talking to someone through this SCP, like he's talking with other people, and like that means he's not the only one. Like he's not the only one that's like seeing these layers, right? And whilst this guy isn't necessarily actively hostile towards us, he opens the door to like, oh, maybe there's others that are, right? And I think that's pretty creepy. I fear my government-appointed FBI agent, to be honest. Basically a god if he had paranoia. Yeah. And I think it's something, it's a very like unstable feeling. And I don't like that. A powerful god, like being that paranoid and hearing voices. Yeah, exactly. I think this one actually sits in the top category for me. It's so humbling and it's so like resetting of your own existence. And I just think the idea that there's layers above us and like people with more control and understanding of the universe and reality than we do is just horrific. It makes me feel actively uncomfortable, like thinking about it. It's horrendous. Recommend Murphy's Law. Oh, thank you for the recommendations. Appreciate it. I'll make sure I go through and grab those after the live. Appreciate it. It's Cold Sweat because he's too muddled and fucked up to do things on purpose. I think like there's a weird part of me that finds SCPs that are not fully in control of what they're doing quite scary, actually, because like, again, they're not doing it intentionally. And when you add in the additional layer of like, this guy's dealing with a lot of like mental health struggles, understandably, because of what is going on with him, I think that like adds to the unpredictability and the scariness of it. Like when you think of, when you come across like a dog, right? This is a really good way of putting it. Pet dogs are cute and adorable, and we generally enjoy them, right? But if you go out and you meet like a wild dog, right? You don't really necessarily know what that dog is going to do. And you don't know how to react and protect yourself in that situation, right? Like all of a sudden you have lost control of that situation and it could horrifically not go in your way very quickly, right? And I think SCPs that don't like fully have control of what they're doing give me that like wild dog sort of feeling, right? It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like very chaotic and it's very, it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable. It's chaotic. It's, you know, I think that makes them more scary to me than SCPs that do know what they're doing, because an SCP that knows what it's doing and is like actively evil, I can kind of predict what it's going to do, right? I can't predict what these guys are going to do. And that makes it a little bit more scary for me, I think. Personally. He's saying he got that dog in Maybe. Okay, next up we have SCP-953. Now, this one was the Kitsune, or not Kitsune. Oh, don't say that, she'll come for me. She was the nine-tailed fox lady. She basically, how does she work again? She's like polymorphic, and she kind of like, she's got a bit of trickery going on with her, I guess. She's a shapeshifter. She has some psychic powers. She does some pretty horrendous things. She is a bit mean. She's a bit nasty. Mean-spirited, some would say. I don't necessarily think she's horrific. Like, I wouldn't like to engage with her. I'll put it that way. I don't think I would be screaming. I think this might sit somewhere in the middle for me. Hide your livers, yeah. She is very spiteful. She is very vengeful. So there's that. But yeah, she is kind of a mean fox lady. I think for me, it's Cold Sweat. It's Cold Sweat. Because I don't think I would be screaming with this one. Like, if I came to realization of what was going on around me, yeah, it would be pretty horrific. But I think the fact that she puts you in, like, kind of like a daze, she gets in your head, basically, and, like, alters your perception of reality, is, I think I have the mental fortitude to withstand that. Kumiho, that's it. Thank you. And with this SCP, you can't do anything. Like, weirdly, that's the thing, right? When you have no control over what's going on, Sometimes that makes it more scary. Sometimes that makes it less scary. And I think in this instance, because you have no control, but she is vengeful, you kind of know she's going to do something nasty, but also she's like shifting your perception on reality. So you maybe don't even fully know what you're doing. So it's kind of like, is it actually that scary? I think she can't seduce, so it makes it a bit less scary. Yeah, I think this is cold sweat. I personally think this is cold sweat. I'm also going to go down in the corner. There we go. I think this is cold sweat for me. I've seen worse, you know? I've seen worse than this. This is not... It's not the worst, but it's not fun either. I think, yeah, she's not immune to bullets. Okay, well, that's good. They're like, yeah, that makes it less scary then. That makes it more, you know, reasonable and manageable. So we'll put it there. Okay. She's a trickster, yeah. She's more of like a nasty, cheeky little trickster lady than she is something super scary. I would be concerned if I ran into her, but it's kind of over. It's over. It's over. Okay. Next up, we have SCP-2718. I, as the ferrywoman of the underworld, love this SCP. I think it is awesome. I love it. And the reason I think I love this SCP is because I just find it to be such a good example of copium. And I think it's I'm evil, okay? I think it's kind of funny because I think it's just people realizing like what Tartarus is and that's what's waiting for them because they've been a nasty, horrible fucker. And I find that quite funny. I find that quite funny. Although the existence that is within SCP-2718, like what actually happens to you, is horrendous and awful. It is very Tartarus-esque. It's not nice. And I do think this sits in the top category. I do personally find it quite funny. From my perspective, anyway. I find it funny, okay? Even death doesn't want that one. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't want to experience this myself, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. Okay, we got SCP-999. Now, this one... Okay. We're all sitting here and we're thinking, oh, SCP-999, oh, so cute, so cute, so cute. You gotta remember something. This is the tickle monster, okay? If you don't like tickles, this thing is actually a nightmare, all right? People overlook this all the time, okay? I hate tickles. Tickling is a form of torture, guys. Tickling is a form of torture. You need to remember this. And very specifically in this SCP's file, it says that this SCP does not stop sometimes when you ask it to, okay? So this we do have to remember. Scary-ish. I think this is very dependent on how you are with tickling. If tickling does not mess you up, you will be fine with this SCP. If tickling messes you up, this is a very bad SCP. I don't quite think it's scary-ish. I also don't think I could nap through this. I'm going to be honest. Tickling is horrific. I hate it. It's the worst. Yeah, I'm not a fan of tickling. I think for the sake of this, I'm going to put it in the bottom category, but I am putting it in there with a caveat that you guys are sleeping on the fact that this thing could like tickle torture you. You are sleeping on it, okay? This thing could mess you up. Oh my gosh. He doesn't do it maliciously. Again, this is the problem with SCPs that don't fully understand their power, okay? He is not doing it maliciously. He's doing it because he wants to make people happy. And he thinks that people laughing is them being happy, right? But when you're getting tickle tortured, you're laughing, but you're also kind of crying because it is horrific and it's awful. So it like, I think it's one of those where it's just like, you gotta remember that sometimes them not fully understanding their powers is very bad. Yeah, like death by laughing, right? Like you can't like breathe. It could be horrific. If you're uncomfortable, he stops. But this is the thing, right? This is the thing, because when you're getting tickled, your brain doesn't always catch up to it too quickly. And I think you would still experience a bad time off the back of it doing this, right? If it didn't tickle you, that's fine. But the fact that we know that people... Well, this is the thing though, guys, because you're saying he stops, but we know that in the SCP file, it says that he doesn't always stop when people ask it to stop. So it's in the file. It's in the file. You can sense if you don't like it though. I don't know anyone who likes tickling who has said stop and has meant it as a joke. I'm just going to put that out there. I think this SCP has been a little bit glazed over. I think there is an element of horror in there. Okay, I think there's an element of horror. I think it's getting glazed over a little bit because people are saying stop and it's not stopping. Okay, suffocation. Imagine if you got suffocated from tickling, dude. That's horrific. Okay, next up we have SCP-001. This is SCP-001 when day breaks. Very specific SCP-001 because there's a lot of entries. Now, when day breaks, I think is actually disgusting. It's on a very similar level for me as like The Flesh That Hates, if anyone remembers that one. This one is basically the sun. Like, how do I describe what this one does? The sun is like causing people to become like melted goo or like wax, essentially. And they are then kind of like going around. They're conscious, and they're hunting anyone who is not one of them, basically. So you can avoid this SCP by like avoiding the sunlight. However, the sunlight can bounce off the moon, so you're not necessarily safe at night either, right? It's pretty horrendous. It's a pretty horrendous SCP. I don't like the fact that you are conscious as like a liquefied blob, and I think it is very unreasonable to think that you could survive this. I'm just going to be real. I don't think, like, I think with the amount of people around you that would succumb to this, it would be very difficult to survive this SCP. And I think this is maybe even Death doesn't want this one personally. I think this one is horrific. Literally the No, I'm Not a Human SCP. It kind of is. It kind of is, but worse. Is it painful? I don't know. It doesn't say, right? It doesn't say. Although I feel like being conscious and being a blob like that would be not fun when your existence is like a human with two legs and like whatever a human is, right? I feel like that's not going to be super cool. Not going to be super cool, you know? Yeah, I'd imagine it's quite unpleasant, probably quite uncomfortable, maybe living hell. Also, like, I think this is just bad whatever side of this you're on, right? If you're the goo side, it's awful. If you're the human that's alive, it's awful. Like, you're just being hunted consistently. Like, it would not be cool. It would not be cool. How long did you get into the, how long ago did I read this one? This was maybe like 6 months ago, this SCP. It's been a while since we looked at this one. I think this one is, even Death doesn't want this one though. It's bad. Whatever angle of this one you were in, I think it's grim. The affected individuals do say it's fun. What? That is wild. That is wild. Oh my gosh. Nah, I don't like that. Yeah, I think this is an even Death doesn't want this one. It's just horrific. I wouldn't want to be on either side of this. Okay, next up, we have SCP-035 This is the Infinite Pizza Box. Now, this is kind of a cool SCP. It's not necessarily scary, but it does have implications. So this SCP is a pizza box. It can produce a pizza of your liking, right? It picks a pizza that is something that you would really like, and it appears in the box, right? There's nothing inherently scary about this SCP. The scariest thing about this SCP is the fact that you might get a bit chubby from eating all the pizza. I don't think this is a scary SCP at all. I love pizza. I think it's cool. Infinite cholesterol. Let's go, bro. Nap, then hungry. Yeah, I think I'd eat the pizza and then I'd nap. This is not a scary SCP, but it does deserve to be on this list because it was a cool one that we watched. Okay, we're on some more recent ones now. So we have SCP-093. Now, what was the human name of this one? We watched this one recently. It's called, Red Sea Object. Red Sea Object. Okay. I don't like this one because it has a stalkery element, and the look of these like huge sand creature things is creeping me out. I'm going to be honest. But SCP-093 is essentially like a stone disc. And it changes color based on the holder's regrets, right? It acts as like a bit of a portal to like a post-apocalyptic dimension. which supposedly was like once ruled by like a really advanced society, but has like fallen into like disarray, right? And I think like one of the big things with this, if I remember correctly, is that they're saying that basically what could happen to our world is what happened to what's happening in like the portal world, basically, is what they're trying to say. I actually think one of the scariest bit of this SCP is just the creepy things that run around behind you and like make noises and stuff. I hate that. And these big monsters are also terrible. I would be screaming. I would definitely be screaming. This is pretty horrific. This is pretty horrific. Oh my gosh. What could be? Yeah, exactly. Is there any place to recommend SCPs? Yes, Jan is right. Go into the Discord. The Discord has a channel where you can put SCP videos. You can't just put the SCP number in there. That's all good. And then I'll add that to my list whenever I get in there. And then we go through them. We either put them up for a vote or I react to them offline and post them as like a little YouTube video on Tuesdays. Also, Eggy! Oh my gosh, how are you doing, Eggy? So good to see you. It's so good to see you. It's just a Lovecraftian entity playing Civ. I love that. Okay, next up, we have Slowburn Sloth. Now, this is one of the very early SCPs that I reacted. I think this was in the first 5 SCPs I actually reacted to. Slowburn Sloth, I kind of hate it. It's kind of grim as hell. Like, it is... This SCP is a memetic SCP. How do I describe what this thing freaking does? It just kind of like goes around, and if you see it, it will like, you can't get away from it. Like you there's a chance that you're like infected by it, essentially. Whenever anyone looks at it, they basically, if it infects them, there's like a percentage chance it infects them. If it infects them, there's a chance that they have like, they become, what do you call it? When someone's like, it feels like someone's controlling your body. Like you're fully conscious, but there's someone in your brain controlling you is what this thing does. So you just become like a conscious shell, basically, if this thing gets you. Which I think is hell on earth. I would not like that. If you guys watched like the most recent season of I think it was Gen V, not the most popular show, but they essentially have a character in that who has Slowburn Sloth's power, where you just get puppeted. You're fully conscious, you can feel everything, you can see everything, but you can't control your own body. Cypher, yes, that's it. Go watch that if you want to see what like a human version of this looks like. Gen V, Cypher's the guy you want to look at. Yeah, this is pretty horrific. I don't like this. I think this is a fate worse than death. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Yeah, it removes consent, identity. Yeah, is horrific. It's horrific. The sloth is not even on the screen, bro. Yeah, it's kind of like physical paralysis, but you're still moving. Like, it can still have you interact with people and talk to people and stuff. Yeah, it was getting stronger as well. I don't like this one. I actually think this is a fate worse than death, because I think the fact of being conscious while this is happening is just pure torture. I don't want this. I hate it. You wouldn't even be screaming because you couldn't. It's awful. It's terrible. It's top level. It's horrific, bro. It's so bad. This is how I see zombies. Really? I think I could handle a zombie apocalypse, but I think I'm also very pig-headed when it comes to that. Okay. Next up, we have SCP-035. Now, this is the toaster. The ordinary toaster. Any human who mentions this is forced to refer to it in the first person. If you hang around it for an extended period of time, you start identifying as a toaster. And I think what makes this thing extra scary is like the longer you're around it, the more you, I guess, start doing things that a toaster would be able to do. So like jamming your fingers in electricity sockets, like putting stuff inside yourself to try and toast it. Like, it's not cool. It's not cool, But also, I think with this one, you would have to be around it for quite a long period of time. Which is why I find it less scary, right? I don't think, now that we know what it does, like the SCP Foundation has like investigated it, blah, blah, blah. I think because we know what it does, it's actually less scary. Like you can kind of get away from it, right? There are some limits to my effect. No. I think it's scary-ish because it could lead to injury and death, but it's unlikely. I think the simple fact that it's such a slow burn on it making you think those things means that you're probably fine, right? Like you could interact with this once or twice and still be fine, right? I think this makes it a nap through it for me because the likelihood is low that you're going to have a scary outcome. Like, yeah, I agree. It could lead to something horrific, but you do have to be around it for ages for that to happen. So yeah, I think for me, I could nap through this. I agree with you, Gurgabin. I think it's scary if you don't know what it does and you come across it, then that's horrific. But we know, so I think this is a could nap through it. Maybe I'm being ignorant. Maybe I'm being ignorant, but I think it's a nap through it. Okay, next up, we have SCP-3000. And this is called, I can never pronounce this, Anantesha. And this is like the underwater, like huge eel, basically, which is like really long. It looks like a moray eel, I think it is. And it alters human memory and sanity. And it produces a compound that helps the Foundation make amnestics. I think this is a scary SCP. However, I don't think I'm really going to be interacting with it. Do you know what I mean? I think this is scary if you're into like diving and stuff like that. But I think the fact that it's under the water and like, you know, we're humans. We don't go in the water all the time. That's less scary to me, you know? Foundation gets their memory raising stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it stays in one place as well, right? I feel like, sure, this is scary. Like if I interacted with this, I would be screaming. But the chances of me interacting with this is so low. I don't think this is like nap through this because there's obviously like, you know, a risk at some point. You were on like a ferry trip or something and you could your plane could crash. It's not like a never situation, right? But I think this is like scary-ish for me. I don't think it's that bad. Scary based on how it digests the memories of people. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. But again, like, Like, am I really going to come into contact with this? I don't think so, you know? I think it's going to be fine. If I interacted, she forgot. Brother. I think it's okay. I think it's okay, dude. Like, I'm pig-headed and I think it's fine. It killed a newlywed couple in under 12 hours. Like, what are the chances, though? Like, really? What are the chances? It's quite scary if you actually interact with it. I don't think it's a nap. I think it's just scary-ish. I think it is not cool. But also, like, the SCP Foundation's feeding it stuff. Like, they kind of got it covered. I'm not mega scared of this one, you know? Like, I feel like this is a problem for other people. It's not a problem for me. It's not a problem for me, okay? I'm fine. Nah, I think this is scariest. I think it's scary-ish. Okay, next up, we have SCP-2316. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This one, what do you call this one? The Bodies in the Water, I think this one is called. This is kind of messed up. This one's kind of messed up. I don't like it. Am I right in thinking that this one is confined to a very specific location? So how do I explain this one? This SCP is essentially a group of human corpses that flew in a small group on like the surface of the water, right? They kind of appear. The people that see them, it will appear to be people that you know. And I think that element of it is very scary. The fact that it's people that you know. My question is, like, how likely are you to interact with this? This is horrific. Like, if I saw this, I would probably be screaming. But I don't know if you, like, what the chances are of interacting with this, you know? Scary-ish, yeah. The toaster killed the newly... right. You don't need to see? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't know. I think this is cold sweat, because, like, this is pretty horrific. And I feel like this would get you very easily as well, right? Like, even if you did encounter this, like, this would mess you up pretty quick. But I don't know how likely you are to, like, interact with it. It's limited to one body of water. Oh, it's just one body? I think it has to be scary-ish then. If it's just, like, in one place, that's not that bad. The implication of how the body's got in the water is the scary part. Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's scary-ish. Like, it is scary if you interact. Same thing with, like, 3000, right? If you interacted with this, it would be horrific. But I probably don't think you're going to interact with this. I think it's kind of fine. I think it's kind of on its own. You only need to be seeing or hear about it once. Wait, really? Wait. So it can appear in any body of water then? Wait, because that does change things. It moves. It moves? Okay. This is getting scarier. This is getting scarier. Okay, I'm actually going to put this up in screaming. If it moves and it's not just in one set location, nah. That's fucking awful. That's screaming. I hate that. That's screaming for me. That's screaming. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. It's still a cognito hazard? Yeah, get that in screaming. That belongs in screaming. Screw that one. Ew. Disgusting. All right, next up, SCP-3999. Okay, let's see what we have here. So, this is a reality-bending SCP that has, like, trapped one of the SCP researchers and is, like, bullying him, basically. It's like a constant, like, shifting nightmare situation, right? This is the SCP, if you remember, where, like, the author, it was kind of like a reflection of writer's block, right? It's interesting. It's an interesting SCP. It does only target one person, but if you're the person that's getting targeted by this SCP, that's horrendous. However, in the history of this SCP, I think we only know about it going for one person. And the SCP was neutralized by the researcher, like, deleting himself, basically. So, Huh? I don't know. It's scary. It's, like, scary if it was you, but I don't think it's, like, it's dead, basically, now. So, It's, I have no mouth, and I can't scream. Oh, yeah, that's it. I have no mouth, and I can't scream. That's what it's called. Has unlimited power to do anything and picks on one guy. And, like, the mentality of this SCP is scary, right? Like, the mentality of it doing that is kind of messed up. But, again, it's only gone after one guy. So, Interesting in the context of the SCP wiki. I think that's also true, right? Like, it's an interesting SCP. I don't know if it's, like, necessarily a scary SCP, you know? If it was targeting you, it'd be worse than... Yeah, that is true. That is true. It was coming for you. But again, it's been neutralized. So I feel like I think it's just scary-ish. I don't think it's, like, nap through it, because it is quite a scary, messed up story. But I don't think it's that scary, because it is what it is. It's they're kind of stuck in one scenario, right? I think that's scary-ish for me. Okay, next up, we have SCP-3930. This is the pattern screamers. Now, I find the pattern screamers kind of creepy, but at the same time, I don't know how creepy they are. They're like, how do I describe them? They are like beings from other existences which don't like humans or like our reality, right? They don't like us. They're not chill with us. They are like screaming because they want to be like let out of whatever like trap scenario they're in. But they're not like really that powerful? And they're like not really doing a lot. And from what we've seen of them, they're like stuck in one area in like Russia, right? So, like, are they that bad? I don't know. I feel like the physical vacuum's a bit creepy that you can go into in Russia. But at the same time, like, I don't know. They're quite hateful, which isn't cool, but I don't think they're that horrific. They also don't exist. Yeah, that's another one. They're from a previous rally. There we go. The previous reality is where they're from. I don't know, dude. There's a lot of pan screamers. Yeah, they pop up throughout like the SCP wiki from what I understand. Could be scary if they get into our reality. Yeah. There's a VTuber pan screamer, dude. That's sick. That's sick. I love it. I love it. Are they that scary though? I don't know. I feel like they're scary-ish at most, probably. Scary-ish at most. Imagine the constant screaming of a civilization before us that are trapped behind our reality. That's scary. That is kind of scary. I think it's scary when you look at it from the perspective of like, what if that's us next, right? I think that's a bit scary. That is kind of scary when you look at it in that sense. But also, kind of is what it is. I think it's a scary-ish. This one isn't horrific, I don't think. I think it's scary-ish. It's also like when it happens, right? Cold sweat? Maybe I'm a bit too nonchalant with existence. Because for me, it's not quite a cold sweat. Like, I'm not actively worried about it, right? The implications are a bit worrying. The implications are... Okay, I'm going to go with cold sweat because I think you're right. I think the implications of, like, this could be us. That is a bit concerning, but it's like a mild cold sweat. It's like a few beads of sweat, you know? For me, it's screaming, really? I don't know. It's not that harsh for me. I think I'm just too chill with non-existence. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next up, we have SCP-2662. What is the name of this one? I know it's Cthulhu, but essentially this is like the one where Cthulhu is like not the Cthulhu that we think of Cthulhu. Like, this is just Cthulhu, but he like wants to chill and play video games. But what is interesting about this one is that he like turns people around him into like obsessive cult members who do pretty messed up stuff. And I think that is the creepy part about him. Again, like, he's not fully in control of his powers, and like it can get out of control pretty quickly, right? It's kind of messed up. You're chill in non-existence until you experience. Dude, oh my gosh. The cults are scary, not him. Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like, the SCP itself is not scary, but the implications of what he does to, like, people around him is what has me, like, unsettled and uncomfortable. I don't like the implications of it because I feel like it can get out of hand pretty quickly. I don't think it's screaming for me, but I think it is cold sweat because, like, the thought of, like, regular cult uprisings who are doing, like, weird stuff, I think that is quite concerning. That's quite concerning to me. Aren't there some people that are immune? There might be. I don't think it's loads, though. I don't think it's loads. Wasn't the Enderman of Minecraft an SCP? Wait, really? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. Another good example of protect should be both ways. Protect humanity from anomalies, but also protect anomalies from humanity. That is very true. That is very true. I don't know. I feel like this is a cold sweat. I think I'm pretty set on cold sweat for this. It's not screaming. It's not scary-ish because the cult thing is a genuine concern. Regular people turning into cult members who will kill for their god is scary. That's the thing. Humans are scary, bro. Humans are scary. I feel like that's the real fear here is that the humans get hold of it. And then it's like, oof. That's going in cold sweat for me. That one's going in cold sweat. Okay, next up, we have SCP-2128. This is Liar's Cradle. Liar's Cradle, guys. So this SCP is like it's like almost like a caged furnace kind of situation. and it can tell if you're lying or not, basically. So you go in it. If you lie, it will burn you alive. If you don't lie, you're fine. But the problem is that it can be a little bit cheeky sometimes. And if you get like asked a question where there's not like a definite answer, you can kind of get screwed over by it. It's interesting. It's big enough to put a human in it as well. It's something I should add for context. If you say like a false statement while in it, you get incinerated, even if you know it was a false statement, right? So if you say something and you know it's fake, you'll still get incinerated. It's very situational, I think. It was actively malicious. Yes. This one's actively malicious. Don't say a word. Yeah. Good luck. I don't know if it's for a nap. I just tell the truth. I think the scary thing about this SCP to me is that if you get put in it and someone asks you a question which does not have a definitive answer, like what happens after death, right? Like what happens after death? And you've got to answer that and you don't know the answer, this thing can just like incinerate you. And I think that's like the scary thing, right? I think that's the really creepy thing about this. And that to me is why it's a scary-ish. I don't really think you're going to end up interacting with this necessarily, but I think it can be manipulated to like mess you over pretty easily. I just say I don't know, and that's the truth. True. True to a point, but it can trick you. It's nasty. This thing's malicious, dude. I don't like that it's malicious because it can trick you. Didn't it get mad when it got outsmarted and killed the guy anyway? Yeah, I think it did, right? If I remember that correctly, I'm pretty sure it just murdered someone anyway because it didn't like that it got like a workaround. It is malicious, dude. It is malicious, man. I think it's scary-ish for me. I think it's scary-ish, yeah. I'm going to put it in scary-ish because there's implications. It's not horrific. It's a low scary-ish, right? It's not horrendous. Okay, next up, we have SCP-674. Now, this is the Exposition gun. This is a gun. This is a gun. Which you can basically, like, aim it at a TV, and the user, like, perceives the bullet entering the TV show. And the characters inside react realistically to being shot at, right? I think the creepy thing about this is it is not just used on cartoons. So it can be used on like news shows and things like that, which means that it's like actually horrific. It's like an insane assassination device. It's pretty horrible. Moody is short. The machine proceeds to burn me alive. Oh my gosh. It's a fanfic gun. It is. But it can be used in real life situations. Like if you pointed it at a news reporter, you could realistically like delete them with this thing. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the idea that someone can get their hands on this and just like pull off a random assassination. That's creepy. I kind of don't like that the SCP Foundation has this SCP. Just gonna say that because they sometimes do some pretty questionable stuff. I don't think it's screaming for me, but I definitely feel very uncomfortable with this SCP. I think this is sitting about a cold sweat for me because I really don't like to think what happens with this SCP if someone in the Foundation decides that they're going to do something to benefit them or the Foundation that's not necessarily good for everyone else. What if the government tries to get involved with it? Like, I don't like... I feel like there's risks here. There's risks. From what I remember, it doesn't actually kill the person. It makes you think they did. Oh, yeah, let me check that. Let me check that. Because does it just make you think it? Oh, yeah, it's just your perception of it. Okay, that's actually... Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. It just changes your perception of it. So it's kind of like it messes you up, right? It messes you up. It doesn't mess the people up around you. Huh. I mean, it could mess you up pretty bad. If I came across this, it would be pretty bad. But I think you're right. I don't think it's actually that bad. I think it's scary-ish from the like mental toll that it could have on you. But I don't think it's that bad. If it doesn't impact the other people, You know what I mean? If it's not impacting IRL stuff, scary-ish. Yeah, scary-ish. I wouldn't go higher than that. All right, I'm going to skip SCP-035 because we're going to rank that one after we do our reaction shortly. But we're going to quickly move on to SCP-1337, which is the Hitchhiker. 1337, the Hitchhiker. Now, this one is interesting because this one is an example of an SCP that tried to, well, didn't try it, but someone tried to destroy it, right? And it's an example of an SCP that turned from something relatively harmless into something quite aggressive. Essentially, this SCP is now a vengeful ghost who kind of like acts as a hitchhiker, gets into your car, and is kind of turned into like a bit of a dangerous serial killer, essentially. Now, I can't drive, so I'm not necessarily scared of it. However, I am the kind of person where if I like see a woman like hitchhiking, I might open the door and let her in the car. And because of that, I think this is actually a bit scary, at least. I don't think it's like not scary at all. I think there's a bit of scare to it. Oh my gosh. Schnapsy, hello, how's it going? It's going good, thank you. We are just wrapping up our scariest SCP tier list out of all the SCPs I've watched over the last year. And then we are going to watch SCP-035. We've got about 5 more SCPs to rank, so we're getting there. How are you doing, though? How are you doing? A lost media skip, at least until they decide on what to do with it and its kin. Nowadays, hitchhiking is very dangerous. That's also true. That's also true. I feel like for me personally, I'm probs not going to interact with this a lot, but I probably would put this in like a scary-ish. It's scary-ish because if you come across it, it's not going to be a good time. You know? Sounds fun? Oh my gosh, it is fun. It is fun. We've got some pretty outrageous rankings here. I'm going to drop this one in scary-ish. I think it's scary-ish. I don't think it's horrific. I don't think it's horrific. Okay. SCP-610. This is the flesh that hates. This is a disgusting SCP. I hate this SCP. I think it's a crazy, interesting SCP. But what it is essentially a contagious like skin disease. It starts off with like a rash and itching, and then you kind of become like gelatinous human goop within like a few hours. And you're like attacking other things that come near you. Like it's horrific. This is not cool. I don't want to be near this one. It's fucking awful. It's awful. It like consumes like living creatures and then like turns them into like monstrosities. It's pretty awful. They've got it like locked in some place in Russia. However, like the stories of it like kind of getting out of control again and them having to like reassess and finding out it's going really deep under the ground. It's like proper like Stranger Things-ish. You know, in the season of Stranger Things where like they found out all the stuff was like going underground through the town. It's like that. This is worse. This is worse than death. This is horrific. Yeah, this one's top row. That one's a pretty nasty one. I do not like that one. I do not like it. Okay. Next up, we have SCP-2701. This one is it's the solitary confinement one. What's it called? There's a name for it. There's a name for it. It's like ultimate solitary confinement or something. I can't remember what the human name of this one is. The human name. New Solitary is maybe what it's called. But basically it's a cell where you get put into it and it's like complete sensory deprivation. It puts you in like a timeless void. But the amount of time that it feels like on the inside is like 7 times what the time you're in it is from the outside, right? So you could be put in it for an hour and it would feel like 7 hours. The scary thing about this SCP, and I guess this is less of a threat now, is that they found that a prison warden was like abusing this. And they were like putting people in it for like hundreds of years, right? They were taking in prisoners, putting them in it for hundreds of years, and the people were just coming out like brain as mush. I don't like this one. I think this is a nasty one. Yeah, it's like Red Reality, but like you come out at some point, but like, are you even like mentally there at the point that you come out, right? I also think what's scary about this one is the fact that it can be abused pretty badly. Like the fact that it has been abused pretty badly and it still can is like, ugh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. My favorite one, also the amount of people will stay there to the end of the universe is scary. Yeah, it's nasty, dude. It's nasty. How do I feel about this one? How do I feel about this? We put Red Reality in Screaming. I think this is a bit worse than Red Reality for the simple fact of like the abuse factor, right? I also think the fact that you come out of it is actually kind of worse than staying in it. And in Red Reality, you're like unraveling. But in this, it's just like full sensory deprivation. Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. Yeah, you don't even die in that. I think that's the thing, right? I think this might be worse. I think this is worse. I don't think I would want to come out of this, but also knowing that you just like pop into existence again at some point and the world will have changed and you will have changed a lot. I don't like that. I think this is bad. I know some turn the Russian sleep experiment as a scary SCP ghost story, and I think it's true. Some think it's fake. That's a creepypasta. I think this is worse than death. I think this is actually worse than Red Reality personally, because of the abuse factor, because of the fact that you come back out. Like, it's just awful. It's not chill. Okay. Last up, we have two classics. So we have SCP-096. This is Shy Guy. Absolute classic. If you do not know Shy Guy is basically like this really skinny humanoid kind of SCP, but it's also kind of like messed up. And it gets really, really angry whenever someone sees its face, right? And it will like relentlessly hunt them down and kill them regardless of like distance or obstacles, right? I think the scary thing about Shy Guy is the fact that you can see a picture of Shy Guy and it will still come for you, right? That's the bit I don't like about Shy Guy. That's kind of nasty. Just close your eyes forever. Problem solved. I think it's also the fact that it can like catch you off guard, right? Like you might not be expecting to see a picture of it. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, this thing's going to get me at some point. This is horrendous. And like, it makes me wonder, does it like bank up like memories of who's seen it? If it's like trapped in the foundation, it can't get out. Is it just like having like a shit list basically, where it just goes after people? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think it's scary-ish. I think it's more of a threat than that to me. I think this is a cold sweat. I think Shy Guy's a cold sweat. The chances of you seeing stuff isn't super likely, but I don't like you could just see a picture and it can get you, because I think that's kind of messed up. It also implies that someone could put a picture of it out there, like on social media, and then you're just screwed. Right? Like that element of thinking about it is pretty horrendous. You would like, and he be scared by the fan film then? Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, we'll have to watch that at some point. Dude, that sounds so cool. Imagine someone showing you a picture of him and saying it's a prank, bro. Just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. No, mate. I think this is cold sweat. I think it's cold sweat. It's not like quite screaming, because the chances of you seeing it aren't super high, but like the chances of you getting screwed over by it randomly are quite high, in my opinion. I don't like that. The Foundation did once post its face all over social media. Yeah, I don't like that element of it. I think there's just too much risk in this day and age, which is why it sits above like scary-ish for me. I think like the threat is like quite real that it could get messed up. Okay, last but not least, before we watch 035, we are ranking SCP-3700 on our Scariest SCP tier list. So SCP-3700 is Tides of War. it is technically like 2 SCPs, but like tied into one. So one of them is like a giant eel situation, and the other one is like a giant lobster. And they fight each other, and it's like there's like a radius in the ocean that they'll like go through. The lobster's generally on our side. The eel is not. The eel, they kind of work like the Egyptian gods. So if the lobster wins, then like good things happen. Like there's good like water reaching the crops, blah, blah, blah. If bad things happen and the eel wins, it's like a drought, right? And it's like kind of messed up. The issue with this SCP is that the eel is winning over time, and the eel is getting bigger and the lobster is getting smaller, right? And I think that is the scary thing about this. Like the lobster is shrinking over time. It's going to win less. I don't like that. I don't like that. The fact that the one that's bringing like fertility to the soil and things like that is kind of getting messed up. I think that's kind of scary. I don't know if this is screaming, but I definitely think this is like a cold sweat for me, because the fact that it's getting worse over time is very uncomfortable. Kaiju battle, scary-ish, but kind of cool. It is cool, but I think the implications of it are not so cool. When the lobster wins, good things happen for humanity. When the eel wins, a lot of people die. Yeah. Also, when we try to help the lobster, that actually makes it smaller to even the playing field. Yeah, it's not awesome. We've intervened too much to now that it's like kind of an issue. Kind of an issue. People stop eating the lobster. That'd help. Yeah, we wish. I'm going to put it in cold sweat. I think that's cold sweat for me. I don't like the implications that it's getting worse over time. I don't like those implications. Right, everybody. Before we rank SCP-035, we got to react to it. It is time. It is time to react to SCP-035 by the Volgun. Let's see what we have here. Let's take a look, and then we will see where we rank this on our scary SCP tier list. Let's go. Dramatic intro. Oh, wait, it's Volgun. I'm going to move into the middle.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-035. Object class, Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP-035 is to be kept within a hermetically sealed glass case no fewer than 10 centimeters thick. This case is to be contained within a steel, iron, and lead shielded room at all times.
Dude, that's pretty intense, like, containment operation for that. That's kind of wild. Steel and lead? I'm guessing this has got like a cognito kind of element to it if they're trying to like block it with lead? Interesting. SCP-035, aka Awaken My Masters. I will also say this is giving me JoJo's Bizarre Adventures vibes immediately. Like the mask from that. Let's see if there's any link.
Doors are to be triple locked at all times, with the exception of allowing personnel in or out. No fewer than 2 armed guards are to be posted at any time. Guards must remain outside at all times and are not allowed within the containment room under any circumstances. A trained psychologist is to remain on site at all times. Research personnel are not to touch SCP-035 at any time. SCP-035 must be moved to a new sealed case every 2 weeks.
A new case every 2 weeks? Wait, is it degrading the cases in then? That is really weird. What are this thing's powers, dude? It's got me so curious. Lead is resistant to some corrosion. Yeah, originally I was thinking it might be just like a cognito thing, but now I'm starting to think it's like a physical, like, degradation of something that's going on here.
The previous case must be disposed of via SCP-101, as it shows no adverse reactions to SCP-035's corruption.
Wait, what's SCP-101? What's that? I don't think we've come across that SCP yet. It's surprising how smart you, but you'll see in the description. Ah, okay. We'll see. To put it simply, yes. The old man does something similar with most surfaces. Yeah, I was thinking that, right? It feels like it's got a bit of like a gross, inky substance vibe going on. And maybe that's just because I'm looking at this like pillar thing that it's on is giving me that vibe, but I'm sort of getting that vibe a little bit from this.
Anyone who comes into contact with SCP-035 when it is in possession of a host is to be given an immediate psychological evaluation.
Whoa.
Description: SCP-035 appears to be a white porcelain comedy mask, although at times it will change to tragedy.
Ugh.
In these events, all existing visual records, such as photographs, video footage, even illustrations of SCP-035, automatically change to reflect its new appearance.
Oh, that's so creepy. I hate it. I hate that. Ew. I don't like that. I don't like that. Actually adds the creepy factor quite a lot to this one. Ew, I hate that. That's funny because in the wiki will also change from time to time. Really? Oh, I hate that. I hate it. Ew. 101 is a trash incinerator. Oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. It's gross. Oh, man.
A highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid constantly seeps from the eye and mouth holes of SCP-035. Anything coming into contact with this substance slowly decays over a period of time, depending on the material, until it has decayed completely into a pool of the original contaminant.
What? I wonder if this is linked to, like, SCP-106, the old man, then. I wonder if it is, because it's sounding like the goo is very similar.
Glass seems to react the slowest to the effects of the item, hence the construction choice of its immediate container.
Oh, it changed!
Living organisms that come into contact with the substance react in much the same way, with no chance of recovery. Origin of the liquid is unknown. Liquid is only visible from the front and does not emerge or is even visible from the other side.
Only visible from the front? Okay. Maybe it's not related to 106 then, but that is very bizarre. Very strange.
Subjects within 1.5 to 2 meters of SCP-035 or in visual contact with it experience a strong urge to put it on. When SCP-035 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternate brainwave pattern from SCP-035 overlaps that of the original host, effectively snuffing it out and causing brain death to the subject.
Oh my gosh, they're just fully gone, bro. Oh my gosh, okay. I was gonna say, oh, are we doing like a JoJo vampire situation? No, they're just fully gone, dude. They're fully gone. Okay, that is scary. They are deleted. No JoJo. No JoJo here. Oh my gosh.
Subject then claims to be the consciousness contained within SCP-035. The bodies of possessed subjects decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming little more than mummified corpses. Nevertheless, SCP-035 has demonstrated the ability to remain in cognitive control of a body experiencing severe structural damage, even if the subject's body literally decays to the point where motion is not mechanically possible.
Ew, that's so messed up. I wonder if it's like, I wonder why the decay happens. Is it like maybe like feeding on them in some sense? Like the decay is interesting, right? It's like sucking the life out of them in some way, but like what for? What for, dude? This one isn't a friend, I think. Yeah, this is not friend-shaped. Oh my gosh. There are a few theories. The mass doesn't like the liquid it makes because it melts the body. Oh, that would be very interesting. Let's see.
No effect is found to be had when placed on the face of an animal. Conversations with SCP-035 have proven to be informative. Researchers have learned various details about other SCP objects and history in general, as SCP-035 claims to have been at many monumentous events.
Is it just BSing, though? Like, how has this thing been at many monumentous events? Like, I don't know about that one. Let's find out. I don't know about that one, dude. I blame the Pillar Men. It was them all along.
SCP-035 displays a highly intelligent and charismatic personality, being both amiable and flattering to all those who speak with it. SCP-035 is scored on the 99th percentile on all intelligence and aptitude tests administered to it, and appears to have a photographic memory. However, Psychological analysis has discovered SCP-035 to possess a highly manipulative nature, capable of forcing sudden and profound changes to interviewers' psychological state.
That's a real bad combo, bro. That's a real bad combo. Like something that's highly intelligent but also highly manipulative. Ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. You have to react to the sedition tape of 039 to understand how it talks. Shit, let's get that. We'll get that on the list. We'll get that on the list. I like it. I really need to go through this edition stuff, man. I've been recommended it quite a few times. Sounds like a politician, but smart. Oh gosh, it sounds like someone who uses their intelligence for evil. I don't like it, dude.
SCP-035 has proven to be highly sadistic, prompting some to commit suicide and transforming others into near mindless servants with linguistic persuasion alone.
Ooh.
SCP-035 has stated that it has intimate knowledge of the workings of the human mind and implied that it can change anyone's views if given enough time.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. I wonder if it, like, okay, now I'm starting a fan theory here. I am wondering if when it like depletes the body, right, that is like on, I'm wondering if it's like using them as like test subjects almost to like understand humans better, which would kind of make sense with what it's saying here, right? Ugh, I hate it. It's so nasty.
Additional. SCP-035 was found sealed in a crypt in an abandoned house in Venice in 18... Addendum 3501. SCP-035 has been found to be able to possess anything that has a humanoid shape, including mannequins, corpses, and statues.
Okay, this just got like 5 times creepier. Listen. Oh, I hate that. I really don't like that for some reason. Like, when it was like, oh, it can't do animals, right? I was like, okay, fair enough. It's just a human thing. But now that it can like go on a mannequin or a corpse or like a statue, I do not like that at all. I don't like that. For some reason, that's just setting me off. It's creeping me out. I don't like it.
SCP-035 has been able to motivate all into movement, removing the need to expose live subjects to SCP-035. Still, anything it possesses inevitably decays into motionlessness.
How does that work with like a statue though? Does it just like turn to rubble? That's so weird. Yeah, it makes it more mobile. I think you're right. I think that's what's creeping me out about it, is like you can't just isolate this anymore. Like if it gets near a mannequin or again a statue, something like that, it's Jova, dude. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Addendum 3502. SCP-035 has facilitated an escape attempt, convincing several of the research staff to aid it in its bid for freedom.
Oh my gosh.
Insurrection failed. All staff that have been in contact with SCP-035 have been terminated, and mandatory psychiatric evaluations have been implemented for all personnel coming into contact with SCP-035.
You just get terminated if it comes into contact with you, bro. How much does this thing taint your mind? It's just unrecoverable. Oh my gosh. I can't remember if they ever had it put on other SCPs. I wouldn't be surprised though, bro. 100% they've tried it. 100% they've tried it. I can control many minds at once. I hate this. Ew, I hate this.
Addendum 3503. It has been determined that SCP-035 is capable of telepathy, whether or not it possesses a host, even penetrating to the subconscious of others, and using the knowledge it finds to its advantage. Extreme caution is advised when choosing subjects to converse with SCP-035. Addendum 3504. SCP-035 has expressed interest in other SCPs, most notably SCP-4715 and SCP-682.
What's it want to do with 682, bro? What's it trying to do with that? It won't work on it though, because that's not a humanoid, right? Why is it so interested in 682? That's so weird.
Dr. has expressed worry that should SCP-035 bond with either, their regenerative qualities would negate its corruption and give it a permanent host.
Oh, I don't like that. It can't work though. Like it couldn't work. It's not a humanoid. Ichika, hello. How's it going? Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. It's my first time here. Greetings from Japan. Greetings. It's so lovely to have you here. So lovely to have you here. We love it. We love it. We're watching SCP-035 at the moment. This is my first time learning about this. And then afterwards, we are going to put it on a tier list of all the SCPs I've seen. We're going to rank it for how scary it was. Welcome on in. Oh, your appearance and voice are wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am based on Charon from Greek mythology, the ferrywoman of the underworld. Use a translation device, but I want to become friends with EN VTubers. Oh my gosh, go for it. Listen, I know how you feel. I am a British person living in Germany. I moved like at the beginning of this year, and I have to use translation devices for everything. I have to use them for everything whenever I'm talking with German people. So I fully understand what that feels like. No worries. No worries. It's lovely to have you here. It's lovely to have you here. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. I'm also from the north of England, so I don't have the nice, clean London accent. I have the kind of grisly northern English one. 682 has control over their biology, allowing mild shape-shifting capabilities. Oh, really? Dude, I forgot about that. Okay, now that's kind of horrendous. That's kind of horrendous. That scares me. That scares me. I always tell Moody she has a nice voice. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I do not believe it. I think I sound so different to so many other VTubers because I just have this weird accent. My accent is lovely. What you talking about? What you talking about?
Addendum 3505. After several more escape attempts, after reviewing SCP-35's incident record, High Command has ordered that it be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any more hosts. Several personnel have protested against this, with some even erupting into violence.
Bro, it's getting into their brains on like a deep level. That's so creepy. The thought that like people can all like almost remain dormant with this SCP, right? Ooh, that's so creepy. What if you put 3-5 with the Satan box SCP? I don't know that one. What SCP number is that? We'll have to add that to the list. Satan box SCP? Which one is that? Maybe for a moment though, it can't keep control because 682 just adapts. Yeah, it's interesting as well because like 682 would have to agree to let it bind with it, right? Because 682 would have to transform into that unless it can maybe it can manipulate its thoughts. I don't know how that works with like something that's not humanoid.
As a direct result, all personnel that have come into contact with SCP-35 have been terminated.
They're just going for everyone now that have ever been in contact with it. I mean, it makes sense because like you're going back and you're like, oh wait, this guy's like a sleeper agent for this thing, right? Like it kind of makes sense, but that's awful. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Devil's Deal. Yes, I know what you mean now. I know what you mean. That would be interesting. Yeah, I remember that one now.
Going forward, all personnel that deal with SCP-35 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited, even to its dormant state, to as little as possible.
I feel like getting assigned to this SCP in the Foundation is just like a death sentence waiting to happen, right? Like, if they're just going through and that like something happens and this SCP manages to get in someone's head, even if it hasn't gotten in your head, you're still just getting deleted. Like, you're just still getting deleted because they have to go through and delete everyone because they get scared. I feel like you would never want to be assigned to this thing. Like, ever. Because you just know that the chance of you getting deleted is so high. As the D-class, you have to clean the room? Dude. Oh, yeah, because you have to change the glass case, right? That's awful, dude. That's so awful. Like, you can use D-class on this thing to an extent, right? But, bro, that's bad.
Addendum 3506. Personnel within 10 meters of SCP-35 have recently reported feeling unease, stating that they can hear unintelligible whispering.
What?
Several others have suffered from severe migraines. Object has been monitored, but there is no change in its dormant behavior, and no sounds have been recorded. The motion to reinstate SCP-035's host privileges has been brought up once more, if only on a temporary basis, to discover these new changes in the object's behavior. Denied.
It's a trap. Yeah, that's a trap,
Addendum.
bro.
3507. The walls of SCP-035's containment cell have suddenly begun secreting a black substance.
Huh?
Tests on the substance have revealed it to be human blood, although highly contaminated with several foreign and unknown agents. Substance is corrosive, having a pH of 4.5, and prolonged exposure to the walls has proven to be detrimental to their structural integrity.
Oh, geez.
More notably, it seems to be forming patterns on the walls. Several segments seem to be paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit.
Oh,
Translation is pending. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefit of the person committing them. Several staff members have been shocked to note that all of the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones.
Oh, I don't like
often in
that.
conflicting positions.
I don't
Researchers,
like
while in
that.
the room examining these newly formed patterns, have complained of hearing loud whispering and high-pitched, unnerving laughter at irregular intervals. Personnel in the section working daily near and around SCP-035's containment unit have suffered catastrophic morale damage.
Catastrophic morale damage. I mean, what workplace doesn't have that? Like, what? Oh my gosh. Catastrophic morale damage. I'm going to use that term next time I'm in a team meeting and something bad happens. This has caused catastrophic morale damage. I have suffered catastrophic morale damage because of this meeting. I love that. Average Amazon Wells. Bro, they mean more than usual. I love it. Great phrasing. I actually love that. That's my favorite. That's my new phrase now at work.
With an all-time high in suicide rates in staff in that area, whether or not they have ever had contact with SCP-035. The only change in SCP-035's dormant behavior is regarding its contained glass case. Degradation of the case has increased to a high degree, enough so that the glass will occasionally shatter, causing a wide dispersal of SCP-035's contaminant. This occurs quite often at the most inopportune times, so far resulting in 6 casualties and 3 fatalities of both research and cleanup staff.
Oh man.
Addendum 3508. In light of the mass suicide and homicide of the members of the research team tasked with translating the passages garnered from SCP-035's containment cell, the morale damage in the area, and general loss of staff dealing with SCP-035 to either death or insanity, it has been decided to coat the inner and outer walls of its containment cell with SCP-148, which has proved well in the containment of SCP-132.
Well, this is new to me. SCP-148? What is that? What does that do? Interesting. I wonder how long the glass case lasts until they have to get a new one. Well, they said they were replacing it every 2 weeks, but this is implying that they're having to do it more than that, right? Because it's like degrading the glass. So I don't know. I don't know how frequently they're having to do it now. That's telekill. Telekill alloy. Oh, so they think that's like more resistant, I guess, to the goop. Okay, interesting.
See document 132-01 in order to hopefully block out the high levels of negativity being emitted by SCP-035.
Bro's just like a complete vibe killer, dude. Like, this is that one person you don't want to hang out with because they just completely kill the mood. This is so awful. Telekill alloy to block the mental effects. Oh, okay, that's smart. Okay, so it's more of like a psychological protection. Interesting.
Addendum 3509. The use of SCP-148 has worked well, causing morale and suicide rates to return to near pre-SCP-35 rates.
Pre-SCP-35 rates. Ugh, I don't like the way that's phrased. That kind of implies that the rates may be higher than the normal, like, human rates. which makes sense because the SCP Foundation is kind of messed up and pretty horrific. Like, you see some pretty bad stuff in there. I just don't like the way that's worded, bro. Oh, they would say normal if it was normal, and it's obviously not.
However, the material appears to facilitate the negativity within its cell, causing a veritable greenhouse effect inside. Personnel inside the cell have stated that they feel a heavy sense of dread, fear, anger, and general depression, as well as hearing a constant, nearly inaudible whispering upon immediate entry.
Ugh.
A prolonged stay causes severe migraines, suicidal tendencies, heavy hemorrhaging of blood vessels around the eyes and inside the mouth and nose, general hostility to others, and for the whispering to increase to almost deafening volumes, intersected by constant mocking laughter.
I don't like that I can hear the laughter. I don't like it. Why can I hear this? I hate this. Why am I being exposed to this? Oh my gosh.
Exposure of more than 3 hours inevitably results in the subject falling into a deep psychosis and attempting to harm either themselves or others. Most spoke Latin or Greek, despite the fact that several did not previously know how to speak said languages beforehand. The presence of blood in both word and diagram formations has increased disproportionately, the walls becoming cluttered and the formations beginning to overlap each other. The substance has proven to be both difficult to clean and even more corrosive than was originally recorded, with a pH of roughly 2.4.
This thing's a growing threat, dude. I don't even know what they're going to do about this. That's kind of creepy. I think the mask just winked at me. No, don't say that. Don't say that, dude. It actually is creeping me out that the face is changing throughout this, man. Hey, Sakes, how's it going? So good to see you. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Easy way to learn these languages. I mean, yeah, it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to becoming bilingual. You just don't like any of the other results is the problem.
General estimation gives the current walls a life of 2 months before they will need replacement.
Ooh.
It is becoming gradually more and more difficult to contain SCP-035, and the debate to reinstate its host privileges has once again come up.
Ooh,
Denied.
Dude.
Addendum 3510. The walls, ceiling, and floor of SCP-035's containment cell have now been completely saturated in blood. All personnel entering and guarding the area must wear full hazmat protection suits.
Damn.
Constant cleaning efforts are being instated. Addendum 3511. The magnitude, intensity, and reoccurrence of the phenomena that occur within SCP-035's containment cell have increased to an alarming degree.
Oh no.
The cell door has been known to become locked of its own accord while personnel are inside and unable to be opened for a period of time.
What does that mean? How does that work? What does that mean? Is that someone else locking the door? Or is this thing now gaining like telekinesis, friggin' moving stuff abilities? Like, what is happening here? That is horrendous. But wait, there's more. Oh my gosh. This is just like, oh, it's just like adding in creepiness. I don't like that, man.
Appendages form out of the larger puddles of blood and often attempt to grab or harm personnel near them. Blurry apparitions have started appearing to staff. Electronic devices now no longer work inside the cell, and the light cannot be turned on.
Burn it. Destroy. I know we secure, contain, and protect. I think we need to destroy. I think we need to destroy, guys. This thing's just going to get worse and worse, man.
Though there is no physical reason why it doesn't work, forcing those entering to use non-electric based light sources.
Oh, gosh.
Cleaning measures are having no discernible effect on the cell, and the walls are degrading at a very high rate, forcing them to be replaced within a week at best. Although the blood makes it nearly impossible to properly achieve this.
Oh gosh.
SCP-035 may have to be moved to a new cell entirely, with the old one sealed off and disengaged from the rest of the facility.
What are they gonna do?
Okay. I think that about does it for today. Thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Bro. Hey, the whispering is so creepy. It's so creepy. Oh my gosh. That's creepy as hell, man. That's creepy as hell. I don't like that one. I don't like that it's scaling. I don't like that it's scaling, and I don't like that it's getting worse. That's super creepy, dude. That is super creepy. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Real quick announcement before I go. We are going to be starting the live streams an hour later moving forward. So that is going to be 8 p.m. CEST and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll put a community post out. I will also make note of that in Discord for everybody. But thank you so much for joining today. Let's really quickly see where we rank this one on our tier list before we go anywhere to wrap things up. Oh, SCP-035. I don't think this is a screaming for me because it's not quite at that level yet, but this is a hefty cold sweat. Like, I don't, God, is it screaming? Oh, no, I think it's a hefty cold sweat. I think this is a hefty cold sweat for me. I'm gonna, let me go down here. I think this is a hefty cold sweat. I think it's very scary. I think it is very scary, but it's not quite at the point that it's horrific yet. I think it's high cold sweat for me. This is a high cold sweat. This is not a fun SCP. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's close to screaming for me. It is very close to screaming. Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I will see you guys next Sunday. Remember, an hour later. And also keep an eye out for my reaction to the Volgans SCP-008, which is coming on Tuesday. It's super cool. We love it. But bye for now, everybody. Appreciate you all so much for joining me. And I will see you soon, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great rest of your week. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Have a good one. Peace. Peace, everyone. Bye.